Don't touch that dial. Adjust those bunny ears. Because what time is it, Jay?
It's time for Sitcom My Face in color. Starring Nick Franco. Also starring J.J. Bidwell. With Harrison Ford as Barack Obama.
I could see it.
Tonight's special guest,
Pete Riario.
Excellent job with my last name. Congratulations.
Tonight's show, Family Matters.
Not Small Wonder?
No, this is not a sitcom about my penis.
I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead. Nothing for you.
Well, welcome, Pete. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, a
Thanks
guest
for having
star! Yay!
I love it.
And here's the test. Hey, Pete, what did you watch?
I watched Police Squad.
There we go. Did it
Not
best
Family
guest
Matters?
ever? Shit.
What? Did somebody else get the wrong assignment?
My whole life's the wrong assignment. Yeah, I fucking loved on this show. Police Squad. ABC, 6 episodes, 1982? 1982. Every time the title comes up, they say something completely different.
Yes, I
than
love
the
it.
actual episode name. I absolutely love that. Well, first time with this show for everybody? Just me?
No. Like I've watched this multiple times over the years.
Yes, likewise. Watched it when I was younger, in fact.
Including original run.
Okay.
Same here, Nick.
I wasn't alive in 1982, so I had no chance of watching the original run. Finally, I get to feel young. Jesus Christ. I feel old so often. But yeah, I never seen this show. I do own the DVD. Usually I would hold it up here. Maybe Nick has it next to him. He can hold it up. But
I don't
mine's
have
in
it
storage
next to me,
right
but
now.
it's in the other room.
But if you do want to watch this and you don't own the DVD, I watched it on Daily Motion.
Correct.
That's where I watched the episodes as well. Yep.
So you had to watch episode 4 in a weird tilted version because that was the only one I could find.
Yeah, the Daily Motion version, which is now presented in Tiltovision.
Yeah, I was like, what the?
Yeah.
All the other 5 episodes were perfect, pristine, beautiful condition. That 4th one's just like you're watching it like this. Like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I was happy that you chose this show because I've been meaning to watch it. It's one of those where I've seen the films that it inspired, the Naked Gun series. For anyone out there listening who might not know, this is the predecessor, the real stepping stone to the Naked Gun films.
Correct. And before this, it was David Zucker, Jerry Zucker, and Jim Abrams making Airplane. And prior to that, Kentucky Fried Movie.
Exactly. Yeah, some comedic genius. Ironically, made the worst Scary Movie sequels, I would say, but I don't know how you go from some of the greatest parody films ever to some of the worst, but, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
I guess the check cleared.
I have to ask you, Jay. Now, Pete, I'm pretty sure you have. Top Secret.
Yes.
Have you ever watched that one?
Oh, it's been a long
Multiple
time.
times.
Val Kilmer? Long time ago. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's the underappreciated Zucker and Abrams film.
And
Extremely.
one of them did the Hot Shots movies, too, which are great.
Abrams.
Correct.
Yeah. The Zuckers weren't involved in the Hot Shots movies.
Those are great, though.
Oh,
Both of them.
yes.
I watched that recently, actually. Hot Shots Part 2.
Yes, I actually, one night I almost had, overload. I watched, do you remember the movie, Pete, Brain Donors?
Of course, so did the movie theaters.
Yes.
And we were everyone thought we were insane because we were practically the only ones laughing until we were crying in the movie theater.
Yeah, well...
Yeah.
They thought you were psychopaths.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah, pretty much. It's an acquired sense of humor. Some of the,
oh yeah,
brain donors humor and yeah.
Yeah, well,
I remember seeing the Evil Dead remake in theaters, and there was a guy in there laughing hysterically like the fucking Joker, and we were all going, oh. Okay. He's wearing like a trench coat. I'm like, oh, good, great.
Yeah,
we're gonna die here.
End up well.
It was not very long after the Dark Knight Rises shooting either.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I was like, oh, we're all gonna die seeing Evil Dead. Great, thanks.
But what were we talking about? But oh yeah,
Brain donors.
On one night, I actually watched Brain Donors and then went out to the theaters and watched Hot Shots Part 2. I thought I was gonna die from comedy overload.
Well, that's a good question to get the vibe of everyone. What are some of your what's your top 2 like favorite parody movies? Are they Airplane or Hot Shots or any of those?
Well, top I would say is Airplane for me.
Airplane for me as well.
Okay.
And then for second though, that's a good question. I love the Naked Gun movies, but are they my favorite parody movies? I don't know.
If you said the third one was, I might have to come to the screen and.
Oh no! Oh please! Although Pete, the great story of when we went to see the third movie. Remember over
that was the one with. Now, Nick, that was with Anna Nicole Smith.
Yes,
right?
that was the one with Anna Nicole
Smith.
Right. But we went to the theater over in Spring Valley, and we were a couple of minutes late, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll go in. The usher said, oh, okay, it's theater 4. We go in, and we're watching, and I don't know what, 15 minutes after we're watching, the credits roll, and we figure, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. They're doing an early credit scene. The usher sent us to the wrong theater.
And I don't know if you remember, Nick, but when we were in that theater, I remember you and I turned to each other going, wow, this movie's really moving along at quite the clip.
Yeah,
they were
like it just
were
really
in the
hit the ground running, I guess.
Heart of the comedic action within 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden, 15 minutes over, the movie was over, and there was this collective, because he had sent not just us, but
groups.
at least another 8 to 10 people, and I turned around, I'm like, am I in a Twilight Zone episode? The other 8 to 10 people were also looking around the theater like what just happened?
Is this part of the joke? Is this...
I thought that story was going to go a different way. When we were sitting in that theater, Nick, and we turned and we looked at each other, that's when we fell in love.
No, that's the other Spring Valley theater.
Nick slowly sank into his seat. Oh, sorry, I'm writing my romance novel. I love, I think maybe my favorite is, and I think I've brought it up on here before, but maybe Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Oh, yes.
That's a Wayans Brothers.
Wayans Brother. I absolutely love that. Yeah. And ironically, they did the Scary Movie 1 and 2, which I actually love. 1's okay, but I actually love Scary Movie 2 quite a bit. And of course, after the Wayans Brothers left the Scary Movies, that's when the Zuckers came in and took over and brought in Leslie Nielsen for 3 and 4. I think he was in 4. And people like Cloris Leachman were in, they brought in some higher, bigger names. Yeah. I have a weird obsession with Not Another Teen Movie. I think that movie's fucking hysterical.
Oh, they did they did 3, 4, and 5 for the Scary Movie.
Oh God, I almost forgot there was a 5. Okay. Yeah. I feel like you watch 4 and 5 and you immediately forget they exist. Almost, they're so bad. When it starts out with the Saw parody with Shaq and Dr. Phil, or you're like, okay,
yeah,
yes.
But yeah, Airplane's great.
Who's that? In that from Letterman days, Nick. Chris Elliott is in it.
Oh, Chris Elliott.
He's in 2. He's in the second one.
2. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Take the really strong hand.
I think he had like doll arms or something.
He's got the little weird crippled baby arm, and he's like, take my strong arm. And they're like, no, yeah. Oh yeah, 2. I love Scary Movie 2.
Yeah, and actually, you and I, Pete, we saw. Speaking of Chris Elliott, we saw Cabin Boy in the theater.
Oh wow,
sure did. Yep.
Hey, want to buy a monkey?
Chris Elliott, who came up on their King of Queens episode and our Everybody Loves Raymond episode.
Yes.
Great guest spots on both shows.
Oh yeah.
Kind of became a regular on Raymond.
Yeah. With
or a regular guest star.
Which Amy's brother, like the family there.
And then was like the main character in Schitt's Creek, right? You know.
I haven't seen it. I heard it's awesome, but I have not seen that yet.
I have not watched that either.
It's quite good.
Yeah,
that's Catherine O'Hara, right?
Yep.
Correct. Oh, right here you go. Beetlejuice. See.
There we go.
They're doing the second one right now. I'm excited.
I know.
Woo-hoo. Hopefully it's good. But yeah, Police Squad, man. I was excited to watch this one, and you mentioned you wanted to talk about the reason it didn't last.
Yeah, and it's very strange. I watched,
but I understand it. So what is it?
I totally understand it. And let's see, Pete, do you know why?
Police Squad?
That ABC canceled it. Why it didn't last? What their excuse for it was?
No, I don't. So I'd like to be educated on that.
Well, as Leslie Nielsen also says in the interview on the DVD, he said that they complained that you have to watch the show.
As in, you have to pay attention to the show.
You can't casually watch this show.
Well,
you actually have to pay attention because of the sight gags and every other thing that's going on.
So they decided to make it a show and not a movie originally because they didn't think they could hold people's attention with a movie of constant nonstop goofs, even though they'd already done Airplane.
Right.
And it was a hit. But they were like, we want to parody police shows. So they made it this half-hour show. But that's also kind of like, I have a love-hate relationship with most parody movies because it does kind of get exhausting to laugh that long.
Yeah, no, I get you on that because then you also wind up missing things.
Well, yeah, and also you walk out and honestly, your cheeks kind of hurt. You're sick of smiling. You're kind of like, I'm ready for bed. You know what I mean? I've had that many a time. And you go, that was a great, funny movie. But then when it comes time to maybe watch it again, you go, it's kind of exhausting. It seems like a lot of work sometimes. Have you had encounters with movies like that? Because I have. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some of the ones that I've laughed. Again, that night where I watched both, brain donors and hot shots. Yeah, I was kind of shot at the end there.
And not only that, sometimes you're laughing so hard, and if you see it in the theater, people are laughing over the next one or two lines where something funny happens.
I watched kind of a YouTube doc about the way the show evolved and failed, and then the movies came. And they mentioned that the movies feel very different because the way a film's edited is you're waiting for the audience laughter. Mm-hmm. And there were I don't know remember the channel offhand, but the guy was very funny when he's going through the cast of the movie. He's like, and the film starred Leslie Nielsen, who's probably not a double murderer, and so who's probably not a double murderer, and O.J. Simpson.
Well.
And I was just like, good job, narrator. Good work.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was wrong on something going back to the show that I was like, oh, Nordberg in the TV show is a very tall guy that you don't see, Al? But that was Al. Yeah, not Nordberg. Yes.
I was getting like Dragnet kind of vibes, but apparently it's super based on an older 50s show.
M Squad.
Yeah, which is, Police Squad, M Squad. But yeah, I was getting the ones I had seen. It was a real Dragnet-y type or something like that.
Well, it also has that like noir vibe because after the the opening sequence and that and the narrator of that, Drebin narrates the rest of the show. Your main character is narrating the show.
Right. So we go over the cast real quick.
It sounds good.
Leslie Nielsen, the great, brilliant Leslie Nielsen. I forgot about. I also love him in Dracula Dead and Loving It. It's one of my,
yes.
One of my favorite roles of his.
But Leslie Nielsen, before Airplane, was mostly known as a straight actor. He was doing dramatic roles and action roles, not comedy. And Airplane was like the first introduction of Leslie Nielsen as the funny guy.
Well, not just him, almost the entire cast of Airplane are serious actors. And we've talked about it before, how a lot of times the most classically trained actors are the funniest. Your Archie Bunker, Carol O'Connor, for instance. We talked about Red Foreman on that 70s show.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
were serious actors. And then they come into this sitcom world and they kill it because they're so deadpan. And that's exactly what the Zuckers did with their parody movie. They realized the more straight-faced you are and serious about it, the funnier it is. And almost to me, that's what kind of fucked them up later is I felt like, especially when you get to like Scary Movie 3 and 4, they're going for the joke, and the people they're casting aren't exactly those stoic. Because by the time you get to 80-year-old Leslie Nielsen, he's mostly known for comedy now.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems later in his career, because he was, more known at that point for the comedy aspect. Again, when he's playing it straight is when it's funny, but when he's just playing it for goofs, it loses that bit of magic that you...
By the time you get to Wrongfully Accused and Mr. Magoo, you're like, calm the shit down. And then you go back
Magoo, and you've done it again.
Yeah. It's probably hard to go back to do then you go back and you watch like prom night and you're like, holy fuck, Leslie Nielsen's in this?
What year was that one?
Is that the slasher movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Jamie Lee Curtis. I think it was like 1980. I think it might have been the same year as Airplane. Right. It was one of those so bad slasher movies that the first DVDs you couldn't even see the damn movie. It was shot so dark.
Oh my God.
You're watching a black screen and you hear screaming. You're like, I guess somebody's dying. I don't fucking know. Maybe.
The TV show was still when he was in prime. He's still playing it as the straight man.
Well, because he was new to it, He was like, it was fresh, it was hot. And it is kind of weird. I wonder why they didn't bring more of the cast, even from Airplane to the show, and then from the show to the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because there's only like him and I think Mr. Olsen, the scientist dude. I think he comes over to the movie, right? But yeah, everyone was so good. Like, Robert Stack, man? Holy shit, dude, from Airplane.
Amazing.
And
Unsolved
then
Mysteries.
Lloyd Bridges.
Lloyd Bridges.
Talk about hot shots. It's like,
holy shit.
Yep.
yeah, a person specifically known for dramatic roles. And then, okay, here we go.
Robert
I picked
Stack
the wrong day to stop sniffing airplane glue.
Not only was Unsolved Mysteries one of my favorite fucking shows growing up, but then you hear him in Beavis and Butthead Do America, and it is the funniest fucking performance. God, I kind of was like, why wasn't he on this show? I would love him over there. And he'd be perfect for a cop.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, his partner, Ed.
Definitely.
Is typically, if you looked at his resume, is playing one of two things. He's playing a cop, or he's playing a judge, I found, like in his resume.
What was that actor's name?
Alan North.
Alan North. Yeah, he was good on this show.
Alan North. He is.
Yeah. I mean, they're all great on this show. Who was the third guy? Who was the one that was the dumb one, even though they're all idiots? The Nordberg or Nordberg.
Officer Nordberg was played by Peter Lupus.
His name's Lupus? Oh my God. That's unfortunate name.
Mostly play, no, he did actually have like a TV resume, like usually like 1-2 episode type of thing, and a lot of appearances on variety shows.
And who was the mad scientist who was doing experiments in every episode?
Yeah, Mr. Olsen was the character's name.
Yeah, Mr. Olsen, yeah.
Who shouldn't be kept away from children.
Oh my God, and
that was what's your Edwin Wallace Williams. Ed Williams.
And that is the thing I liked most about this, especially if you've seen like procedurals, especially like cop procedurals. Mm-hmm. They have the formula they follow.
Exactly.
You have the opening murder or crime. You investigate the scene. You go to the informant, who's the shoe shine guy, who's in. I think he's in all 6,
Johnny,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You always have the follow-up joke with someone else who comes to the shoe shine stand, like your Dick Clark or whoever. Joyce Brothers.
Yeah, not just asking about ska, but asking for the anti-aging cream.
Yeah.
You know what scene I absolutely loved in episode 4 is when you see he would be the equivalent of like a forensic scientist maybe or something like that. That Olsen character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in episode 4, you see this water splashing up,
Yeah.
and you're wondering what the hell is he doing because he was, demonstrating this to this child.
And you hear that.
Right, and then he lifts up this wet cat, and he goes, "And this is why mammals belong on land."
Yeah.
He's like,
You can just see like little
imagine-
spurts of water shooting up. As
Right, spurts of water shooting up. Like, can you imagine like doing that in today's? I mean, PETA would have been all over that.
Oh God, yeah. Like,
Right.
Well, you Jersey
cannot-
boys, I mean, you're over there killing snakes in Friday the 13th, so,
There we go.
No, that's true.
But yeah, that scene, and then, you always end up with Mr. Olsen at some point to do, like you said, the forensics investigation. Like, I love the one where he is showing how deep the bullet would go based on the distance, and he's shooting through, was it Barbara
Videotapes.
Walters interviews?
Yes, that's
Barbara
exactly what it was.
Walters
VHS tapes.
VHS tapes of old
Yeah.
Barbara Walters interviews.
And it's like this goes all the way through up to where Barbara asks Catherine Hepburn what type of
Hepburn,
tree she would be.
Yeah. Like little stupid shit like that. And the running gag, too, that I loved was the cigarette. Yes, it is. Or-
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I loved that so much. Those stupid little running gags. But yeah, you could tell the formula. I do think that if it kept going, that probably would have got a little repetitive. But then, of course, they solve the crime. There's always some stupid shootout where they're this far away from each other, but bang, 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 and missing and whatever stupid shit's
Throwing
going
guns at each other and
on. Yeah, I love the
various
one
things.
where they're hiding behind. Ed and him, Frank, are hiding behind the garbage can. He's like, "Cover me," and he just throws a blanket over him. And he's just stumbling around with his blanket on him. And then the culprit ends up tripping over him.
overhead.
That's how they like dumb shit like that. But then, of course, you have I think probably the most famous thing from the show is the epilogue, where
Yes.
the end of the show,
The freeze frame.
the fake freeze frame, where a lot of shows do the freeze frame on a joke. They just stand there and hold still.
or
And
try
the first one, they kind of are just there, and you could tell but then they start adding shit like the one with the monkey.
Yeah,
The monkey's not gonna hold still. The monkey's jumping around, throwing shit.
the one where they're pouring coffee and it
Yeah,
just keeps
right.
pouring.
Yeah. Or
Or
the
how about the
ceiling's
criminal
collapsing.
The criminal like takes the keys to get his handcuffs off.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
walks out.
Yeah. And he's like on the screen. Yeah.
Oh my God.
While they're frozen.
I would say if you want to know if you'll like this show, there's a compilation on YouTube of just those stupid ass freeze frame endings.
Oh
If
my
you watch
God.
that and you laugh, you'll like the show. Like, I feel like that is a great way to just sum up this show and go, okay. But yeah, then you have the Al, who you mentioned is the tall cop.
Yeah.
Who they always reference something that you can't see on his head, like a wig
Exactly.
or a hat or what
No.
happened? You get in a fight or something
No,
like
the,
that.
the best was, Al, you got a little something like on the side of your face. No, the other side. And it's like a whole banana.
And then there's the little person cop
Oh yeah.
that you usually see right after you see
They,
Al.
they're talking like they're talking into a radio or
Yeah.
or a speaker system. It's like, yeah, get me the so and so. Yeah, and it's just they're talking down to a little person.
The
Right.
first episode, I thought it was supposed to be the same character. I thought that was the joke because Al walks off and then the little guy walks in.
Oh God.
So the first one, I thought, oh, he's a tall guy, one shot, and then I realized no, it's different characters later on. But he was right. The probably the reason the show did fail is you have to pay such close attention, and you do, especially today. How many times are you watching a show and you're really just listening to it? You're fucking around on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really in it. I mean, like old Simpsons. You rewatch those, and there's so many amazing background jokes.
Oh yeah.
But it almost does feel like they gave up on that kind of stuff over the years, right? Like they don't feel as deep as they once were, not only story-wise, but
Right.
little gag jokes in the background. My
They had
favorite
one. I'm sorry. In the police station, if you look out the window, the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one where they mentioned they're going to Little Italy and you see like the Pisa?
Yeah, you see,
The Leaning Tower
Pisa
of
and
Pisa.
Yeah.
from there, and you also in the background while they're driving, you see like the Roman Colosseum in the background.
Or even when he's driving, like it's clear that he's in a car with like stock footage as on
my
the green
God, yeah.
screen, and he's driving through people, but it's just green screen people. So you're going, there's people in the crosswalk that he would have just killed if that was a real street. Just stupid things you don't. And then he's like one because he's always narrating. Oh, we're going on to the next whatever. I gotta go interview so and so, and it's so that one he's just driving backwards all of a sudden.
Yes,
He's like
I
driving
saw that.
backwards the whole way, and all the footage is just going backwards on the screen.
Well, you know what? That's actually similar to the technique. Again, going back to Top Secret, the famous scene at like the library thing, with the guy with the book blowing dust into the book.
I feel like the only gag I remember
God.
from Top Secret is the giant phone for some reason.
Oh yeah,
Like it cuts to some guy, and it's like the phone's in the foreground. And the guy's in the background, and you think it's just perspective, but he walks up, and the phone
man,
is still this big
giant, yeah.
on his head. I don't know how I remember that one, but
I love in Top Secret when he goes to this 5-star dinner restaurant and he had no jacket, right?
Yes.
And they take him into this room that has these French whatever doors, but completely visible to see in. So while everyone's dining, you see him like taking his pants off. He's in his boxer shorts, right? Changing into the new outfit, and the guy is just like completely in a state of undress while other people are just eating. I mean, yeah, crazy.
Well,
Nothing, nowhere private.
even in this one, there's jokes that took me a minute to like I remember specifically they have the great line, which they also I think did in the second maybe Naked Gun, where is this some kind of bust? And it's talking about her tits, and like it was a great bust, but we need to talk about it, whatever.
Yeah, it's like outstanding, but we need to talk.
Yeah. Well, she goes, "Do you mind if I change?" And she walks behind the thing and comes back out in the same outfit.
Yes.
And I wasn't really paying attention at first, and then I was like, "Oh, her fucking hair is different. Her hair color has changed."
But still, I think though, the exchange in episode 1 between the murderer Sally Decker, she was the teller assistant there.
Yep.
They used a very similar dialogue in Airplane 2, which I believe was not from the Zuckers and Abrams.
Somebody else, yeah.
Yeah, somebody else did Airplane 2, but when they're talking about Stryker and Macho Grande and that they're doing a lot of like Howie made it. It's like, no, Howie didn't make it. They do the same thing with this dialogue where it's like, so she shot twice. No, I shot once. It's like, wait, so Howie shot the thing. No, Howie was off today. This is
all
his day off.
the name mix up. That's a great little bit, yeah.
I love
Then that was
exchange.
smart of them. That was one of the better bits, and it's so long and it's so drawn out, and it's right there in that first episode.
Yeah.
So again, early on they give you the sense of what you're in for. And that's that was it felt like a 5-minute scene almost. Just all these different name gags.
Exactly.
And it was great.
But if you want, I think one of the best, quick exchanges, that was one of the funniest things in it, is when he had called, he and Nordberger pretending to be locksmiths because, there's a bunch of, mob goons going around collecting protection. Mm-hmm. And he pretends to be the girlfriend of the top mobster. So the mobster's in his office at his house, with his cat, which also he has animals in every drawer.
Yes.
It's the classic
drawer.
The classic villain with the cat on his lap.
Yes,
yeah.
Right, like James Bond. Yeah.
Or was the Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget or some shit?
Oh
right?
yes, Mad Cat.
He opens the drawer and he puts the fucking cat in the drawer. And then he goes to open another drawer and there's a puppy in there.
Yeah.
And he pulls his gun out of that drawer, Yeah.
But the quick exchange is when Drebin opens the door. The mobster asks, "Who are you? And how'd you get in?"
How'd you get in here? Yeah.
It's like, "I'm a locksmith and I'm a locksmith."
I'm a locksmith. Yeah.
That's just one of the best. It's like, "Who are you and how'd you get in here?" "I'm a locksmith and I'm a locksmith."
Well, I briefly mentioned it in our opening there, but yeah, the guest star thing is always fun. They always have some celebrity guest.
Absolutely.
They had Florence Henderson. They always get murdered in the opening title.
Exactly.
Basically.
Like Shatner.
Shatner.
Florence
I remember Florence Henderson, Shatner. Who else was there? There's
Dick Clark
Robert
was in
Goulet.
there.
Oh, Robert Goulet. Yeah, he's on like tied to a post. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, William
Right.
Conrad.
Tommy
Lorne
Lasorda
Green was the
in
first
there.
one.
So they never actually appear in the episode, but they're still guest stars
Yes.
technically.
And of
Right.
course, don't forget in the opening credits and that, and Rex Hamilton as Abraham
Yeah.
Lincoln.
That's why I said Harrison Ford is Barack Obama.
Yes.
Dr. Joyce Brothers also was in there, right?
Yeah.
She was on the shoe shine stand. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you notice, by the way, that Joe Dante directed episodes 2 and 6?
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I was
that was
excited.
an interesting.
And I love him. He did like the Gremlins films, of course. and
Correct, yeah.
Yep.
The Burbs, I believe he did, which I love.
Yes.
He's one of my favorite
Another
directors.
really good movie. Yeah, that
And
stood
then-
out to me when I saw episode 2.
Well, when I saw episode 2, I go, wait, this Joe Dante did this? Where the fuck is Dick Miller? And then Dick Miller shows up in the 6th episode.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mr.
And-
Futterman. He's in everything fucking Joe Dante did.
You know what scene I absolutely loved in episode 2 is when Leslie Nielsen goes to the bar to sit down, and as soon as he sits down, all you see is like his neck and his head, and everyone
yeah.
else is way above him.
Yeah.
And
Can I
he
get
goes-
you
and
anything?
And he goes, screwdriver. You see him, he starts cranking up the chair so he's at the same level as the bar. I mean, it's such stupid jokes, but they really land. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love the game, the poker game that he's playing to get the contract of the boxer. Mm-hmm. And first he's trying to say it's like I got a lot of Long Green, like basically he's got the money. It's like he manages Lorne Green.
Well, he says something like, he's doing the narration. I didn't think this card game was on the up and up. And like one guy shows his hand, and I think he had like the instructions
Yes,
part of the
the
card.
instruction
Did.
card.
Correct. That cracked me up. Mhm.
And then they start, of course, it does the typical shot of the pot getting bigger, and they're
Yeah,
throwing in chips and money.
and
And then, of
various
course,
things
Monopoly
getting
money.
thrown in.
Yeah. You
Yes,
see the
right.
get out of jail free card and the Monopoly money come in
Yep.
and shit like that.
but
And then
best-
big
but-
cartoon bags of $sign money. In it.
Yes, the best
Yep.
one was like the last, if you want to say the last raises, the one boxing manager. It's like, okay, will you accept these? And it's fuzzy dice from a like a car, and Frank's like, no dice.
No dice. Did you notice the corpse behind him in the damn cabinet?
What was it?
There's like the open lockers behind him,
Yeah.
and there's literally body parts of a man with the. It's like a leg. It's got the arms. I think still have the gloves on it, and the head with like the head
my
protection they
God.
use in boxing.
Oh my God.
Again, it's they were right in saying, yeah, you actually have to watch it to get all the humor.
If you think about it that way, if you were just on your phone listening, it's not a funny show.
Right. Oh, totally.
Almost the entire show is visual. Like
Mm-hmm.
or so subtle that if you weren't paying attention you wouldn't get it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another great moment I thought was in episode 4 where that woman is packing boxes for orphan relief. And she goes to Drebin. She goes, "Can I take your jacket?" And he goes, "Sure." She takes the jacket, puts it in the orphan relief box,
And they walk out in their underwear.
Like she's giving it to Goodwill. She doesn't even hang it up.
Yeah. And the next shot they walk out in their underwear.
Yep.
And then the next shot after that, they're wearing coats. I think that's when they go to see that stripper, and there's tags hanging off of the because they
I
had to
didn't
buy
notice
new
the
coats.
tags.
Both
Oh
of them
my
have
God.
like a yellow price tag hanging off their sleeve. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But there's a similar one in the 6th episode with Dick Miller, the Joe Dante episode, where it pans to it starts with a sign in like the fancy dining hall, and it says like suit and tie required for entry. And then it pans down, and people are just bringing him suits and ties, and he's taking them, but they're already wearing. So it's like the admission to get in. You have to give them a suit and a tie. But it's one of those,
Oh,
if you
God.
weren't watching, you'd be like, what? I don't get it. Whatever.
You're right.
You know?
Oh,
So,
Yeah, but
there's
you're
so
right.
many-
It's like it really was a visual, sitcom, right? I mean, you couldn't just listen via audio and,
right.
I mean, pick up as much as you would watch.
And the same thing as you wouldn't be able to just kind of watch it side of the eye and just like, without the audio either, because it's
Well,
the
and you'd go, "That
combination
was
of the
boring."
two that
Yeah.
actually, like some of the gags.
One of your favorite shows, Everybody Loves Raymond, for instance. You can kind of play on your phone and listen to that show, and you'll laugh, and all the jokes are.
Yep.
The audience tells you when to laugh. You have the laugh track. There's not a whole lot of visual comedy on Raymond, for instance. This is the complete opposite. Absolutely the opposite.
Yep.
Totally.
If you had to recommend one episode to somebody, which one of the 6 would you tell them to watch?
Oh, that's a good question because
you want to recruit a new fan. Watch this one and see how you feel. Which one do you think?
I liked the premiere, thought it was a good episode, but I found that the subsequent episodes got progressively funnier. I was laughing way more in episodes 2, 3, and 4 than I was with 1.
Yeah, other than the name gag, like it's like she
I
shot.
think that was one of the best
twice.
scenes, but
It's like,
not the
no,
best
once.
episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of like the one. It was Rendezvous at Big Gulch, which is
That's
also
my
Terror in
favorite
the,
too, Nick.
the Terror in the Neighborhood with the mobsters for the protection.
That was good. I love the little joke about, you see him one time, he's doing the keys, and he hits that like grinder and the fucking key shoots in the ceiling.
Yes.
And then every subsequent time they shut a door, fucking
More
just
keys fall.
the keys fall off the ceiling. That was good, yeah.
And then behind them they have, on the wall it says Francis Scott Keys, turkeys.
Oh, and he's like, when they first come into the store, I think you'd be pretty upset if something happened to your key store or your little key store. He's like, what about my little keister? No, your key store. Not your keister.
Oh, and after they throw the rock through the window, the next day, because they threw it through the L in Locksmith.
Oh,
So-
Oxsmith. Yeah.
Yeah, you see a cowboy out there waiting with an ox.
Oxsmith.
Yeah.
It's like, no, sorry. It's Locksmith.
Well, and that was one of 2 episodes where almost the whole premise was him. It's almost like Homer Simpson, where Leslie Nielsen takes on a whole new occupation for the whole episode just to solve the case.
Yes.
Because there's that one, and then the one where he becomes like the comedian in the lounge.
Yes. Yeah,
So-
that's the one with Dick Miller, yeah.
Those felt very early Simpsons to me, where Homer just had, oh, I'm an astronaut this week. Oh, I'm doing this week. But you almost go, why the fuck are we spending so much time in this key store? But there was, I would agree with that. I would think that might be the funniest one. It had the most collectively funny moments.
Agreed.
Like after the woman, gets socked and she's waiting down at the police station, and Leslie Nielsen walks in and he asks, what's his partner's name again?
Ed?
Nick,
What's
what was
that?
his partner?
Ed.
Wait, his partner's name was Ed?
Yeah.
Ed, and he asks Ed, like, you know what? No, he comes in and he sees this Quasimodo character whose like face is all mangled, and he goes, "Whoa, like looking pretty bad." And Ed goes, "No, she's over there," and it's just a woman with a black eye.
Yeah. Ed goes, I just want to warn you, Frank. She's pretty bad. And he sees the Quasimodo, and he goes, not that bad. And the next over,
That
she's
was
got like
it,
a little
right?
black eye. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, yeah.
Well, even
Again-
that first one with the girl in the end, the one who was the murderer, when they start pulling the wigs off.
The wig's off.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, and she used to be whatever as a brunette, and rips it off, and she's just a brunette. And before that, she was a backup singer for Diana Ross. And she pulled it off. She got like the afro. Stupid.
Yeah, that was clever.
Stupid shit. But yeah, it's.
Oh my god.
If you've seen any of these parody movies, especially your Airplanes or your Naked Guns, which, did you read? And I didn't know this till today when I was trying to remember the cast. They're working on a remake of Naked Gun?
That I
No,
did not
really?
hear.
I'll give you 2 guesses each who you think's going to be the new Frank. Or at least
Boy.
as listed.
Is it Steve Martin?
Nope. Huge,
No.
serious actor name. Action star, older gentleman.
Okay, older. Okay. Yeah, because for a second I was going to say I was thinking the straight actor type of thing, but not older. I was thinking John Hamm actually for a
I
second.
read it and I go, what the fuck? And then I thought about it. I'm like, that could work.
Older.
It's funny, Nick. John Hamm. He did that.
Fletch.
I watched it too. The Fletch remake.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw a poster for that.
I don't know. I have to say, I don't think I was all that impressed by him.
I didn't get to see it yet.
As far as, he's funny in some of the other comedies have been like Bridesmaids and all, but that it just didn't really work. So
how do you step into the shoes of Chevy Chase too? That's hard.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Especially Chevy Chase at that time.
Right, yeah. Chevy
Maybe
Chase
you can
now?
replace Chevy
Okay,
Chase
yeah.
now, but you can't replace Chevy Chase then.
No way.
You got to guess who would be the new Frank?
Okay.
Who else, huh? He was an action star, you said?
Action.
He's an action star, and I would say he's almost elderly.
Liam
wait.
Neeson.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yes,
Who?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson is attached to the project on IMDb at least.
Or as how the on Key and Peele, Liam's Neeson's.
I was gonna say, if you needed a hint, according to Kevin Smith, he's got a huge cock.
I just wonder
He's
if
got
he
a
can do
particular set
comedy.
of skills. Yeah. I thought about it, and I'm like, that could actually be something interesting. Even if it fails, I would be okay watching that just to see how fucked up it was.
I'd check it out of just morbid curiosity.
Because that's all he does now is almost like straight to video fucking action films.
Yeah, basically, with that whole premise of I've got a particular set of skills.
Taken was so big, that's all he ever had to do again. Yep.
Did either of you see Steve Martin as Inspector Clouseau in that Pink Panther?
Oh, ow, no, stop.
We actually kind of mentioned that on one episode. And, Peter Sellers is just so good. I like Steve Martin, and I think that...
So do I.
If you don't compare the two, I think it's an okay, fun movie. But I don't think he's
problem.
anywhere... Yeah.
That's the problem. Peter Sellers was so well embedded into that. The character and the actor were just one and the same after a while.
You know what's amazing, though? If you go watch the original Pink Panther movie, you go, that's Clouseau? It's not Clouseau yet. He didn't become Clouseau until A Shot in the Dark, the sequel, which is fascinating.
True.
He doesn't even really... His accent's not even that
dominant
yet.
at that point.
Oh, yeah. And he's not even a main character.
Yeah. He wasn't talking about the blind man and his minky. Let's go to Pete first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to know, give me your, top 3 favorite sitcoms of all time, Pete, just because I want to get to know you a little bit and see where you stand on these kind of things.
Boy, well, it may sound silly, but, Three's Company is really... I love Three's Company, and it's because I always enjoy when there's one person, and this is, pretty much I know Three's Company very repetitive, but there's always one person in the Three's Company plot line where...
The misunderstanding?
Exactly. They have no idea that what's going on behind the scenes, between the other characters. So
I've told Nick this a million times, but one of my favorite jokes on Friends ever is I think Joey's watching Three's Company and Chandler walks in, and Chandler goes, "Oh, this is that episode of Three's Company with the misunderstanding." I fucking love that stupid ass joke.
Oh God, that's funny.
Okay, so Three's Company's up there, and then of course Three's a Crowd probably is your second favorite. No,
no, absolutely not.
maybe the Ropers,
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Boy, let's see. I mean, I did like Seinfeld, so
of course, yeah,
I might put that on there.
I've never heard of it.
And but I tend to like some of the older ones, Family Ties, those. Even that's not even really. I don't know if that would even be considered a sitcom.
Family Ties is definitely a sitcom.
Yeah. Any of the 80s
Different Strokes
sitcoms. Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, once you mentioned Small Wonder earlier, I figured you were well set in the 80s.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, a mix of that, of those.
Yeah, my top 3 that we've covered so far right now are Night Court, That 70s Show, and The King of Queens.
Oh, that's another great show, King of Queens.
And my top 3 are Taxi, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Modern Family.
His favorite is Clarissa Explains It All. We covered it last week.
No!
Don't let him lie to you.
I don't know if you've ever seen that, Pete. You got to check it out.
I have not. It's that good, huh?
Yeah. Well, put it this way.
It's so good.
When we were younger, Was there such thing as really teen sitcoms? Not sitcoms with teens in it. I mean,
no.
it was made for teens. Yeah,
Do you think that? I wonder if the demographic was even aimed at teens back then. Because you hear now they always say like everything seems to be aimed at 18 to like 35.
Yep.
I wonder if that was the same back then for like Brady Bunch. You think that was their demographic?
Probably, because that definitely encompassed, I think, like the whole family, if you want to say.
There was a shift at some point where you go from everything is friendly for everyone, family friendly,
yep,
to we need to associate it with a demographic, right? Once you get to your All in the Families, I feel like you start, maybe the 70s there, you start getting like, not so appropriate for the kids. We're talking about deeper shit. So I feel like almost there in the early 70s, you start getting that divide between I Love Lucy. Everyone could watch I Love Lucy. Everyone could watch The Honeymooners. But I don't know about the Jeffersons. That kind of shit when you get to the Norman Lear stuff.
True.
I feel like you get that divide when you start. And then, of course, when you get to things like Married with Children, you have all the controversies. We're on to things like Always Sunny, where you're definitely like, TVMA, get the fuck out of here, kids, But I just wonder if when that shift happened between, we got to start.
I would have to agree that it was actually a 70s phenomenon because, again, you mentioned the Norman Lear shows. You also had shows like Mary Tyler Moore. Okay, single woman on the, in the workplace in a higher role. You had. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones because, like, even the things that were family friendly had their own things, like a Happy Days, like like the wonder of the 50s and that. It's like, well, yeah, and the innuendo that Fonzie gets every woman and
they did didn't they do a couple like special episodes too? Didn't they tackle a little bit of that kind of stuff starting out?
I think they might have. Did they, Pete? I'm trying to remember on Happy Days.
Did Happy Days do like drug episodes ever?
Boy, they may have maybe later on.
It might have later on,
but nothing that comes to mind. Like maybe after Fonzie jumped the shark.
That would have been on the same. That would have been on the same time as like Different Strokes and stuff, right? And they were doing the same kind of shit, right?
They did.
I guess Different Strokes was early 80s.
Correct.
I think Happy Days might have went into the early 80s there.
Yes, I think it ended in 83, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to some of those.
Correct.
Basically, right now, what we try to do for the listeners, we try to jump around decades so we're not constantly... It would be great to just fucking plow through the 70s, because to me, the 70s and early 80s had most of the greatest sitcoms of all time.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But, we want to dance around, and I got to make Nick watch shit that he hates, like Clarissa Explains It All, but I grew up...
Now I'm going to watch an episode just to see what
I don't know if you
is.
have this pleasure on let's plug your other show real quick because Pete's not some stranger. Pete actually co-hosts a show with Nick called What Exit Jersey Stories. I've listened to a few episodes. I am a fan, Pete. Great show. You guys are awesome together.
Thank you.
And they talk about a lot of things in the history of that wonderful state that I hope to live in someday. I've been there twice and I want to live there now. So that's fun. But
all are welcome.
Check out that podcast,
and of course your prior podcast, Hard to Swallow with Jay Bidwell.
So hard to swallow, I had to bury most episodes, so I don't get canceled.
It's like, oh yeah, we talked about this. Oh wait, we talked about this. Oh,
it's one of those. Let me preemptively protect my image here. A lot of great times getting wasted with friends and talking about all kinds of fun shit afterwards. Yeah.
Pete and I actually did a podcast before What Exit. What is it? Where are my seats? Which was just very random.
Called Where Are My Seats?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it about?
God, it was like everything in the arts, right? Comics, movies.
Well, that was the initial thing, and then we just went off the rails and just did whatever we wanted to. We were trying to do like sort of comedy Bang Bang-esque sometimes. We were trying to do I don't know, like skits and all sorts of things. That's also when I was playing around a lot with the editing too.
Is that still out there?
Yes, it is.
Nick, I don't know if you know this, but just as far as Police Squad, if Police Squad got canceled after 6 episodes, how were they able to parlay that into, several movies? How were they even begin, because if it was canceled and there was no interest, how did they manage to,
at first,
cinema?
it's a little of what Jay was saying before. It's like, again, the Zuckers and Abrams didn't think that it's going to work on the big screen. Like, are they going to pay attention for that? Like, hey, we only have to do like a 22-minute show, like all the things that are meant for TV. But then they realized Leslie Nielsen was asking them, it's like, why don't we do a movie? And like, finally they, they decided, hey, yeah, we can actually make this work.
Yeah, it was originally conceived as a movie, and then at some point they shifted to a show. Mm-hmm. And luckily they still had, because of Airplane, they said they still had a huge connection with Paramount. Mm-hmm. So they were able, they still had the ability to go to Paramount and be like, hey, we have this thing. And they finally came to Leslie, and he said he was very excited when he got the call.
Yes.
Wow.
Because he was the one who brought it up. He's like, well, the show failed. Maybe we should try the movie,
Right.
Although I will say one thing from the movie to the show, or show to the movie. The one thing I missed that was in the movie were the opening sequences with the police light. In the movie, they did everything and anything with the police light. It's like, oh, it's on a roller coaster now. Oh, it's going through a women's bathroom. It's like,
that's right.
I missed that gag.
I kind of wish there was more episodes to gauge of this.
I know that's
it's
the
hard with only
part of
6 because, like I said, if it went for 5 seasons and they continued to follow that formula, I probably would have got exhausted with that, because it was a checklist, crime, and just like Law and Order. I can't watch Law and Order because it's the same shit every episode.
Yeah,
yes.
You follow check.
Check. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. But
speaking of like modern sitcoms to watch, or like it's a sci-fi sitcom, is Resident Alien with Alan Tudyk.
I've seen. Yep.
Oh my God! Just thinking of the Law and Order. Dun dun.
That's the guy from Tucker and Dale too, which I love that movie. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I never actually got to see that.
I haven't seen it. I know it, but I
haven't. Oh my God, it's so funny. I played a redneck in a movie that they pretty much told me, yeah, we ripped you off from Tucker and Dale, but don't be him. I was, okay.
Yes. Jay, why don't you let the people know what they could see you in nowadays?
Yeah, so we talked about it on our Andy Griffith episode. I was in a film that's loosely, quotes, based on the Andy Griffith show, called Mayberry Man, and it's now free to watch on, I think, Tubi, Prime, and YouTube. So you can find Mayberry Man if you just search. It's on, I think, Encourage TV or something like that. Bought it, so it's on their YouTube channel, but it's also on Tubi. And yeah, I'm in, I think, 4 or 5 scenes. I'm not one of the leads, but like 8th lead.
Sweet.
So yeah, it's a pretty fun movie,
Definitely
and they just finished shooting the TV series based on it. So you got a movie based on a TV series that is now spun off another TV series. So I am not in the first. They're doing 5 episodes. I think it's more of like a mini series. So hopefully, maybe the second season. But I don't know. I don't know right now. But yeah. Well, they had a few premieres that were fun as hell. I think our Andy Griffith show we did right after the original premiere of it. Because it's been, you could buy the DVD on like Walmart and Amazon too. So yeah, check out Mayberry Man. Tell him you want Doug in the damn show. All right, Jesus.
There we go.
Yeah, damn it.
So tell him I'm not watching the show until you put Doug in the damn thing.
And when's Deer Camp coming out, man?
Deer Camp 86 is coming out October, November, I'm told.
Ooh,
it's a horror movie about hunting, so you got to stick around.
Movies.
Yeah. That's when I bought these gunner glasses, and I didn't even think about it. These are like blue light blocking glasses. And I put them on and I was like, these are kind of like the glasses I wear in that movie. So I was like, see.
There we go.
I was going to steal them and I just forgot. The last day of shooting. At least I got something similar now. So
Well,
I kind of feel like John Goodman and Big Lebowski with these on.
oh my God.
Yeah, right? I
Shut
can
up,
see it.
Donnie.
But yeah, so Police Squad, I threw it in here on my list between The Addams Family and Everybody Loves Raymond at number 17 for me. This is our 38th show we've covered.
Right.
So it falls right there kind of in the middle for me, which, for a 6-episode series that I just discovered, I think it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of funny that you said 17 because I put it right after Father Ted, which I have at 17. So it's my number 18 show.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, and it's good and bad, I think, that it's so short. It's easy to watch. It's less than 3 hours of your life.
By the way, so, I was watching these Daily Motion Police Squad episodes on my Chromebook. I don't know what experience you guys had with Daily Motion, but literally, I think every 5 to 6 minutes, there are 2 small windows off to the right of the viewing window. Mm-hmm. One of them had like a car commercial. The other one, all of a sudden, I'd be watching the episode and I'd go, "Never gonna give you up."
You were Rickrolled?
So it was a Rick Astley advertisement going off every 5 minutes. And so, it's a touch screen. So I'm just slamming the mute it button so I could hear the rest of the damn episode. This went on for every episode, by the way. So
I did not have that. I watched it on my computer. I did not have that issue, but I did have the weird thing where, sometimes you would leave your mouse in the middle of the screen to make the play shit go away, and sometimes you had to move it off the screen. There was no consistency, and there was also, for some reason, on the top left, it had like a blinking icon, like a text, like I was about to text something, type something in, and I'm going, why the fuck is that there? Like, I don't understand.
Incoming text.
Yeah, I think the other one we had to find on there was 8 Simple Rules. I think the 3rd season wasn't available anywhere else besides Daily Motion or something. So we had to watch a few on there. I don't understand. Their system sucks for streaming.
Yeah.
I did want to mention 2 deaths. That we forgot to mention Trait Williams. I think he died the last time we recorded.
Yes, I think
day.
we did mention him. Yeah.
He's in one of my favorite.
Clear Sawyer explained it for us.
Yeah, he's in one of my favorite movies. I think I mentioned it after. I don't know if we mentioned it in the recording. But he was in one of my favorite movies called Deep Rising, which is like a monster movie on a cruise ship. Yes. And I fucking love that movie. It's from the guy who did the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At least the first 2. I don't know if he did that shitty 3rd one, but the shittier 3rd one. But if you haven't seen Deep Rising, I would say that's a great fucking action movie with him and Famke Janssen.
Yep.
And
I have seen it. She was one of the Bond girls.
Yeah, she was one of the Bond girls, and Jean Grey in the original X-Men movies.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And Alan Arkin just passed, who is,
yes,
great.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen The In-Laws, what a movie!
Yes, the brilliance of he and Peter Falk, the chemistry of the two of them.
No, you told me you love the one with Michael Douglas and
no,
and Ryan Reynolds, right? The one you like?
No. What was it, Albert Brooks?
Oh, he was the other dad. Yeah, I think Ryan Reynolds was the son-in-law though, or something.
Oh, okay. But no.
I mean, Argo and Little Miss Sunshine, just amazing.
Yeah,
performances.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah,
great performance.
Oh, although I will take a little offense though on some of the obits. That's like best known for his role in Little Miss Sunshine. It's like. No, maybe recently known.
I think he might have won. He might have won like an Academy Award or something for that, though. Maybe that's why they say that.
I think he was nominated.
I believe he did. Yeah. Oh, he didn't win though, right?
That's probably why they say that, though. You know what I mean? Oh, his son though. His son was a victim of old Michael Myers in H2O. So Adam Arkin.
And if you ever get a chance to listen to the Gilbert Gottfried podcast with Kevin Pollak, was a friend of Alan Arkin, and what he would do sometimes is he would leave a answering machine message to Alan Arkin from Alan Arkin, which was just one of the most bizarre things.
I got sad about Gilbert again last night. I was watching some old episodes of The Burn, the Jeffrey Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Comedy Central, and he was the announcer. I forgot that. So they come on, he's like, "Tonight starring Jeffrey Ross," and I'm like, "Oh God, Gilbert, I forgot about you." Anyway, so we're gonna do our drawing. We're gonna do our first rerun. So you and we went through. I took our bottom 4 shows from our first season. Okay, there was qualifications. It had to be not a show we watched every episode of, as we just did with this show. So next season, Police Squad will not qualify because we watched all 6.
Exactly.
And it had to be from our first season. So this show will be the next show that we cover again, our first rerun, as we're going to call it probably.
Yes.
So, I mean, 3 of our shows matched up, and then you and I each had one different show for our 4th. So we got to watch some shit over again.
Yeah.
And see if it moves up on our list, okay? There's only 5 in here.
Okay. Pete, drum roll.
Let's hear it.
I'm just going to keep grabbing them. Pete, you tell me when.
When?
That way we can blame him. What's that?
Right now.
And the winner is...
That way we can blame Pete when we hate it so much, right?
Yes. And the winner is...
So
what show? The loser is us.
Yeah.
There are no winners.
I'm trying to remember what our options were before I look at that. I think it was Full House, Dharma and Greg, My Wife and Kids, 8 Simple Rules, and Head of the Class.
Yes, those were our bottom.
So it's one of those wonderful shows.
I hope it's not Head of the Class.
Oh, Nick.
Is it?
It's Full House.
It's full.
Oh, God.
Hold on. Insert dramatic music.
All right. Hey, it could have been worse.
Yeah, again, it could have been 8 Simple Rules.
All right. Well, tune in next episode as we revisit
Full House,
which we originally visited for the death of Bob Saget. Pete said, "I don't give a cat's ass."
That was a nice view, huh?
I kind of wish it just sprayed you, right? That'd be a great finale.
Oh, yeah. It really would be. That would
Tail
make
goes
top
up.
10. Top 3 episode.
Oh, man. Oh, wait.
Quite
there was
amusing.
one scene I wanted to mention with the mime.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I did a real.
5?
There's an episode where they're trying to like interrogate a mime or question a mime, and of course mimes don't talk. He's like, "Say something," I was in a pilot, like a fucking comedy. It was called Oakmont PD. I think it's on YouTube. And one of their running gags was it was a police station, and there's a mime they keep trying to interrogate. And then I was like, did they see this, or they just happened to?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, they were young kids who did it, so I don't know. But if I hadn't seen Police Squad, I find it hard to believe that a 20-year-old would have seen Police Squad. But
you never know. but
Yeah,
we do know one 20-year-old that didn't watch The Addams Family.
Tyler, fuck you. All right. Well, if you want to find us, you can find us on Twitch at BidwellFog or Netnick191.
Yeah, Sitcom your face on Twitter.com.
No, Sitcom my face.
My face. My face. I don't know, your face, my face, all our faces. But my face, yes. Sitcom my face at Twitter.com.
I miss my face. Oh, wait, I mean MySpace. We should open a MySpace. I don't even know what's on there anymore.
I don't know. Does it exist?
I'm still friends with Tom.
Yeah. email us at sitcommyface@gmail.com if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a show that you want us to cover. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/sitcommyface.
Great name.
I was going to tell you, Nick, I think our Clarissa episode actually has more views than our Taxi episode, which is really scary.
So that's the state of the world, huh?
It's the state of the world. Until then, I hope you all will sitcom my face. Good night. Nice to meet you, Pete.
Adios. You too. Can't wait to hear other shows.